Okay, so today I want to talk about an image that I received a lot of hate and heat for. And it's this one that you can actually see here on your screen. I can show you a raw file, and then I'm definitely going to show you, I mean, this is the After Effects edited, but I'm going to also show you a raw file of the image. First of all, I used to have not YouTube. I opened a new YouTube. So there's a whole story that I'm gonna brief you in on this one. But for now, I want to tell you this image was actually taken on my TikTok channel. It was done live. I had 2 images that I was doing live because I had pretty good TikTok audience. Not to mention that most of them are very creepy, but in general it was okay. But the heat and the creepiness and the messages I received via TikTok, they were like I haven't received or I've seen anything like this before in my life. So I've decided to completely close down. There was also another reason for it. But whatever the reason, I've decided to close my entire account down, not just temporarily, but completely, and then reopen it and then not be active for those reasons. So I am on TikTok again with 13 followers, not 13,000, for 13 followers. I closed down initially with just over 5,000 followers. And this image, I was only focusing for the most part on self-portraits. When that got a little bit heated and creepy, then I was just doing some, light streaming. But for the most part, TikTok is just not for me. So it is what it is, and unfortunately, yeah, we're just not friends. But yeah, this image was taken during TikTok Live. There were 2 images taken, but we're going to focus on this one. I don't want to keep this live very, very long because it's going to be boring. Later it's going to be uploaded anyway, so you can always rewatch it, and I hope you do. So this image was taken on during TikTok Live. This is me. So this is self-portrait, definitely self-portrait. So as you can see, it was pretty much impossible to do anything. There are a couple of things that are not visible here. One of them is, there's an image right after. There you go. One of those things is my remote control that I had it on my, because I had to take a picture. Of course, I couldn't check the images until later. The image initially was sharper, but I gave a lot of grain to it. The only thing that was my hand. I moved it a little bit, and so I was taking the picture on slower shutter because it wasn't really sunny outside. The weather was dark and gloomy, and so I was taking it on slower shutter speed, on higher ISO, which of course automatically you will get more grain, and if on higher ISO, and then on slow shutter speed, if you make some sort of sudden movement, then of course it will register it as blurry. So that's the reason behind it. But I purposely added more grain to the image itself. And because I thought it wasn't clean image. There was nothing clean about it. The hand motion itself was already blurry, so I thought it cannot be sharp and it cannot be very like a clean image. It would just contradict completely with what I had. Now the heat and hate. The hate I have no idea what was the problem behind it. I guess somebody had a bad day, or somebody times few people. And the heat was a lot of comments because I was sitting in my corset and shorts. Right now they look like they are underwear, but trust me, they were shorts. short shorts, but shorts nevertheless. And the comments were also a little bit inappropriate. Even with the filter, people can find a way to make some comments. Maybe I can try to also take a little, yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to take a little screenshot for myself for later, for purposes of posting it on Instagram and stories. Right, so my corset, it's actually my favorite corset because it has a zipper on, so it's easy to, I mean, I have those with the buttons, and oh my god, what a atrocious things they are. To take it off, it's great, but to put it on, it's a struggle. And this one is really nice because it has a zipper on. Maybe it's not as I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say effective. It is effective. It's in size small. I also have others in size extra small, but it's definitely easier to operate. Maybe it's not as festive or I don't know. But I don't think that zipper is of any lesser value than buttons. Maybe for aesthetic reasons, buttons give it a little bit more sharp edge to it. But it's one of my favorite corsets. It's stunning. It's really nice and white, and it's so clean and it's so classy. So I thought I would use it, but. Of course, I had to add my creepiness to it, my little spice to it. So I added a piece of cloth that I cut it during a photo shoot, I think 2 years ago, and I had that thing dangling. I did tie it in the back, I think and I did all by myself, all while doing live streaming on TikTok. And then I wrapped it in a string, which was actually very bendy because it had the red string had I still have it. It has a wire inside, so it's really nice and bendy. And yeah, and I wrapped it around my head. And there was one thing that I thought I was going to remove from it, but initially I left it because I thought it just gives a little bit nice, maybe kick to the photograph. It doesn't look as clean. And I didn't want to have that clean look, but I wanted to have it clean enough look. And that will be, let me show you. Hold on one sec. And that's right over here. Okay, this is the after image. As you can see over here, I don't know if you can see, maybe you can see. I like to have my nails painted. With something that is colorless but gives a little bit shine to it. I think I used to work with models and I used to model myself, so when you have to edit nails, it seems simple, but trust me, it is the hardest thing to do. So anyone who is modeling out there, women or even men, if you paint your nails, so please come prepared and paint them and have them done, maybe even professionally. Send the bill later to the production company if they're not going to do this for you, because aesthetics, our hands, we shake hands with people, we gesticulate, we use our hands all the time. So it's really nice, especially on photographs, that they're always well prepared. And so hands should be, nails should be done. Not that I haven't forgotten about them at some point when I was taking photographs. I have forgotten about them on occasion. So yeah, but it's just a tip. It's just a tip for all of you to do your nails. Do your nails. Make sure they're clean. Your hands are washed, because later it's just really problematic to sit and remove all of that. Right. So we have the image, and I'm gonna zoom in on this one. So as you can see, right, yeah, there are my eyebrows over here. You can see, right, yeah. Here was my nose, my eyes over here, my nose, and my mouth was over here. And as I was sitting there and taking pictures, I couldn't see what was happening, what was going on. But later I was able to actually see the comments, and the comments were so nasty. Like, what the hell? And yeah, but I wrote a description that this is self-portraiture, so people wouldn't be too surprised what they're walking into, but they were nevertheless. So what I initially thought that I should have removed was this part over here. I thought that perhaps I should have removed the cloth, the pieces of cloth. But then I realized if I'm gonna remove that little piece of cloth, it's just gonna look too clean. Like one thing is stopping, the other one ending, another one is beginning as a showing. So there would be the beginning of the rope. And it's not a rope. This is not even a string, but let's just call it a string. And then over here would be the yeah, just my skin. It would be like as if perhaps my head was completely detached from my body, and I wasn't sure if I actually wanted to have that or not. I did initially removed it from a picture just to see how it would look, and it looked kind of a little like plasticish, like it was, my head was completely detached and something else was attached, and this was not my idea, because if I would want to make that idea, I would probably spend a lot more time in Photoshop trying to figure out how to really give that vibe and look. So this wasn't giving a look or a vibe, it was just giving me an idea that what it could be. But if other people cannot see it directly, then that means the portrait would fail miserably. So I didn't want to do that. So I left a piece of cloth over here as part of the, I would say, aesthetics of the picture. So this was it. I don't know if it's left or right I'm supposed to go. Where is the picture before and after? But I've been snapping a few at a time. I usually do. So yeah, this was the image before. So I did open it correctly. So let's see. We have the remote over here on my leg. I'm sitting very weirdly. And there is no remote over here. Is it that image? Yeah. 62. Let's see. 62. And this is 61. Okay, so it's this way I have to go. Okay. I thought there was something was off. All right. So we have the image, the before. Image before. We have the we have me, so you can of course already see that I have removed a couple of things. First, I always want to do is to remove is like some sort of like these blemishes that I have. You know, we all get them from the sun, so it's like the dark annoying spots. So I tend to remove them all the time, and I'm always very vocal about it, because for me, if it's I guess I'm going for like that alabaster skin look. Yeah, so it doesn't really have to be there. It's just not something that I need to have. Yeah, and just, you know, kind of those black spots from that we all get from sun exposure. So you can see over here is the cloth. This is completely raw. There is some piece of my hair over here, and there is one thing that you can actually notice on my head, how uneven it is. So of course I evened out all the edges because I didn't want to make it look like obvious cloth on my head. I wanted to make it like it is actually a head, my head. But yeah. Sorry, because I'm playing music and then there's some commercials that are coming. because in YouTube you're supposed to listen to copyright-free music, so that's why. But I want to have some music in the background. Yeah, so I removed a little bit of the cloth over here. I smoothed it out in Photoshop in liquefying. I removed my hair over here as well. I just didn't feel like they were supposed to have been there as part of the image. It was completely BS. Yeah, I smooth out a little bit my edge over here. I always kind of tend to do. And I fixed a little bit on the zipper so it's more like straight in line, just to give a little bit more aesthetic to it instead. And of course I removed the remote control that I have for my camera, that I usually keep it right on my thighs, or keep it so accessible that depending how I sit and where I sit or lie down, and sometimes it's on the floor, sometimes it's on my leg, sometimes it's just like I crutch it right under, not under my armpit, God forbid, but just kind of like under my elbow and close to my skin. So this is what I try to do, and then just kind of, yeah, smooth out myself a little bit if necessary, just to give it like a little bit more aesthetic look to it, instead of having this straight off camera. It just doesn't, for me, straight out of camera doesn't really work. And so this is it, and we can maybe take it and compare these two images. So there you have it. And then of course, you know, I cropped this image because, you know, the legs over here, they were totally unnecessary. And this chair is funny because I'm not a big person, heavy person. So when I sit on that chair, my buttocks, I don't know how much I can actually say on YouTube. So I've been banned from TikTok and other media so many times that I'm just trying to be cautious. It just becomes so big. And it's not just with me, it happens also with people that I photograph, and they're like, this is so unflattering. It is very unflattering. So if I had to scoop a little bit up there with in liquefying Photoshop, so yeah. But I'm so sorry. I don't think I have done that. I don't think I've actually done that. So yeah. And why did I receive so much heat and hate? I think I've mentioned in the beginning. One, because I was sitting in the corset, so there was a lot of heat for it, in terms of you know, inappropriate comments and kind of in a way that should be filtered better on TikTok, but they weren't. And then hate, because I was sitting there doing this live and people were just very mean. So I've decided that TikTok is absolutely not for me. This is not what I want, and this is not what I'm about. Yeah, but I think that's it. This is the behind the scenes of my self-portrait. I will be talking about other ones. Somebody once asked me if I actually have self-portraits hanging in my house of myself. I'm definitely going to answer that in YouTube. In YouTube, sorry, no, it's in YouTube, but in Instagram stories. But I have one photograph of myself, and that is a self-portrait, and it's hanging in the hallway. So not very big, just A4 format, but yeah, I do. You will be surprised and shocked what it is. But if you would want to follow my Instagram account, then of course you will be able to see it over there. And my Instagram is right over here. So yeah, I will be posting my photograph, the photograph that I actually do have in my house hanging, that I framed and did it. I like it, and people are always surprised and ask me about him, like him. And I said, that's not a guy, that's a woman. But you'll know when you see it. So thank you for stepping by.